Joining me live is former IDF spokesperson and senior fellow at the Foundation of Defence of Democracies, Jonathan Conricus. Jonathan, thanks so much for your time. I appreciate it. You heard a little bit there of what Witkoff and Kushner had to say about Benjamin Netanyahu. It was high praise. Do you share in that high praise of him, or do you think Benjamin Netanyahu has made some mistakes along the way?
Yeah, good morning to you, Laura. I think it was interesting, to hear. It's the first time I hear the video. It's just out. I wonder why it was necessary, because allegedly, that those are things that government ministers are supposed to be aware of. Tough decisions, standing firm, holding the line, fighting for the country. That's supposed to be pretty obvious. And I'm asking myself, why was there a need to state the obvious? But to put that aside, I usually try not to meddle too much in politics. It's a good day. It's a hopeful day. I've been out most of the day and speaking with hostage families and doing a few interviews, and there's a new sense of optimism. Many families are looking for closure. Many Israelis are wanting to end the war. And what they're seeing is a first good chance of that happening. So it's a good day and a good start. Many hurdles along the way, many pitfalls, many things that can and most likely will go wrong. And we'll see how Israel, the US, Turkey, Qatar, Egypt, and of course Hamas deal with it.
How do you reflect on this deal being done? It is only phase one. There's a lot of steps in that 20-point plan that need to be agreed to. Hamas has not yet disarmed. The hostages aren't yet back, Jonathan. We met 2 years ago over the airwaves and a lot has played out in between then. So how do you personally feel today? Do you feel it is, a big hurdle, or do you feel it's just the start of a long journey?
No, I think it's a positive, it's a very important positive milestone. And I temper my enthusiasm because, I've been around the block and I know that these things take time, and we're dealing with, lifelong enemies. And it bothers me a bit that the word peace gets thrown around a lot by people who don't live here and don't really have skin in the game. Sadly, that isn't what this is about, at least not with Hamas in Gaza. This deal, if successfully completed, which I hope it will be, may bring peace and normalization in the broader sense in the Middle East, and I'm really hoping for that to happen. But when I look at reality, I look at Hamas. They are not signing up for anything related to peace. They're doing a ceasefire because their back is against the wall. They're in a tough place. They've run out of diplomatic support. The Qataris have turned against them. They're out of ammunition. We've killed most of their leaders. So it's a good time for them to take a ceasefire. It isn't more than that. And I think it's important to, calibrate our expectations accordingly.
Yeah, thanks for highlighting that. I think peace is a bit of an uncomfortable word at the moment as well, especially from people like me who, you're right, don't have a direct skin in the game and are very far away from where you are.
I wasn't referring to you, Laura.
No, I know you weren't. It's okay. But I think you're right. Normalisation is a much better word. I have been, reflecting. There's got to be a lot of praise for Bibi to get to this point, to get Trump involved, to be a tough negotiator as well. I mean, I know there is a strong sentiment against him in Tel Aviv at the moment. We've seen the protests for the better part of 2 years. Some hostage families still were critical of the way he's dealt with this war along the way. I wonder, is it too early to talk about whether he's certainly been the Prime Minister to get Israel through this conflict, or the latest iteration of this conflict, but is he the right leader, or can that same leader, whoever it is, be the one to bring about normalisation and heal some of those wounds?
I think Prime Minister Netanyahu is definitely looking to be that person, and there are slated elections for November next year if this government will last its tenure, which most political commentators don't believe that it will. But the Knesset, our parliament, is in recess and it will convene in a few weeks. And then there are a lot of hot-button topics to deal with. But I think that what the Prime Minister will seek to do is to shore up the 2 years of suffering and hardship that Israel has gone through with achievements, which may be the fruit of this agreement. Now, that's a good thing from many perspectives. One is that puts additional energy or inertia behind Israel's intention to really see this ceasefire through. And I think that's a good thing, because I think Israel has achieved a lot. And if Israel is able to actually defang Hamas and get Hamas officially out of power and really start perhaps rebuilding, and that clause in the deal that speaks about deradicalizing Gaza, if that starts to happen, then maybe this can really be a game changer in the Middle East that is really of strategic and historic proportions. It could also be just a ceasefire. I'll suggest that there are, if we want long-term changes here, there's one organization that I know many Australians have contributed taxpayers' money to, that I think really needs to be at the heart of attention here. And if we want change in Gaza, that organization needs to go. And the people who have heard me a few times won't be surprised when I say that organization is UNRWA. The United Nations Relief and Works Agency has been poisoning the minds of people in Gaza. Instead of helping, it has been indoctrinating them with hatred. Instead of educating, it has been basically the manufacturing line for the next generation of terrorists. And if we want to de-radicalize Gaza, which I think Australians want, Israelis want, and most people want, that organization needs to go, because otherwise we'll be fighting another war with whatever abomination comes out of the ashes of Hamas in a few years. We'll be fighting the same religiously fueled battle, and there'll be a new generation of jihadis who want to die for the cause.
Well, Jonathan, for now, I've been waiting to talk to you with about something positive ever since we met. That was 2 years ago, and I think today, finally, that moment has come, a glimmer of hope at least, and I can't wait to see those hostages return home early next week. Thanks so much for your time.
Monday.
Yeah, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
And good to see you as always.